Okay, this is the remains of a portable hard drive that I had lying around doing nothing. So I decided to put it to some use, and I kind of got fed up with it just sitting around and being a pain every time it came around to being used. So this is the case that the hard drive and this circuit board was housed in, and this was the back plate. It's got a power on button as well, and this was the top cover to house it all in. And this was a Verbatim 1TB portable hard drive. That's the model of it if you wanted to know. Hashtag 47512, 1TB. And it was just a pain in the arse lugging the power supply and a USB cable around, and because it sat on top of the computer, it wasn't really practical because the power supply's lead, which is sat in here, is not really that long, so it was quite a stretch. So I decided to take it apart, and this is the interesting bit. So undoing the case was quite easy. I had to undo this back plane, which was just clipped in, so I undid these 3 clips at the bottom there, and this popped off, and that allowed me to slide this top cover off. Yeah, you can probably see where this is going there. And then to take the hard drive out, I undid 4 screws. I've still got them, and I disconnected this circuit board. I'll get around to that in a minute. I lifted the hard drive out and put it on my bed, and this is now redeemed as useless. So I'm going to keep this. I'm going to basically keep all the housing just in case, and I'm going to keep it safe. Even though I would have scrapped the case because it's steel and I'm a scrap metal collector. But anyway, so, and then I had a look at this PCB and I was quite impressed actually. So this PCB has 2 jacks, power jack and USB jack, and an on-off switch, and it's basically this bigger connector there to power, and that's a data, and that's a SATA connection. And I do beg my pardon if I got that wrong, but that's what I've heard, so maybe I might have heard it wrong. But yeah, so the hard drive was a SATA hard drive, and I'm keeping this circuit board for one of 2 reasons, just in case my plan for the computer backfires and I have to take it out, and to make a portable CD DVD player by using that, the power supply and the USB cable, which is somewhere in there. And the USB cable has got a fat head on it, if I can try and find it quickly. That's the type of USB head it's got that goes into the back of that PCB, so hopefully it will work, because I can pick up a brand new Lightscribe SATA DVD drive, DVD rewritable drive, and hopefully the same principles apply. If not, I will. So, and these 2 wires are for an LED indicator, so yeah, not too bad. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to clear the top of the computer, open the side of it, and have a look inside. So here we are in the computer. I moved the cables out of the way of the CPU cooler because it was just basically just covering up the fan, and it was just a bit of a shit really. So I took cables out of the way, and I was going to clean it out, but I'm not going to do that just yet. I'll probably do that during this year at some stage, because it is pretty nasty in there. But yeah, it does need to clean. I'll put my hands up because look at the state of that. I mean, that's nasty. So yeah, so I had a bit of a kerfuffle trying to get this epoxy hard drive in, but it's in now, and I was quite impressed with it actually. So I had to sacrifice something first. So what I did was, I realised that there was only 2 SATA cables, and there was 2 extra power cables, so I disconnected the CD drive, because I hardly ever use it anyway, and checked to make sure the computer was fine, and it just basically didn't give a flying fuck really whether it had a CD drive in it or not, so I was quite happy with that. And next problem I had was mounting the hard drive. Well, this is the hard drive cage for the hard drive that was put in factory, and there was nowhere else to mount the other hard drive, so I had to put it in the expansion bay, which is basically what you can use to put a second CD drive in. And I just had to nick that for the minute until I get proper hard drive mounting cage. Because this one at the bottom here, this lip, looks like a place where you can mount your hard drive, but you've got all these Cat 5 cables here, and it's not really that great, to be honest. And it does look like you got a screw there, so I don't know. So I had to mount it in that expansion bay, and I put it in there, and I was thinking, nah, the whole thing's earthed, so if any, because the circuit board is exposed, it's not covered, and if it was to touch this light metal case, it'll trip the house. So I put a bit of cardboard underneath it, and I thought, oh hang on, that's going to overheat. So took the whole thing out, took cardboard out, put the thing in, and put it up with one screw. And it's been fine ever since. It's been in there for what, 4 or 5 days, and done so many takes of this, but it's unbelievable. I just got fed up. So now I'm in a good mood, I thought I'd do a video quickly. And actually trying to get the hard drive in with the power supply in was a no-no. So I had to take the power supply out just to put the epoxy hard drive in, and then after that put the power supply back in place and see if it was all systems go. And one thing I was quite shocked with was the power supply's actually got enough power in it to actually power both hard drives. It's got 300 watt HP brand power supply. You see at the bottom there, 300 watt. And yeah, I'm quite impressed with that. It's got not doing too bad actually. The startup went according to plan, kind of. Then it went on to a disk check, so I was like, oh dear, I might have done something to the hard drive, like the operating system hard drive. But it was actually checking the new hard drive that I put in, and it came back fine. So I was like, oh, okay then. So it works fine, has no problems retrieving my retrieving my files that's on there. So quite impressed with it actually. So a quick look then. The only thing that's really changed to this computer, apart from the storage capacity, is actually the way this thing shuts down. Because when this thing shuts down, it parks the second hard drive. I'm just going to call the portable hard drive number 2 and the factory one number 1. So it parks number 2 and coasts down, and then it parks number 1 and kills the rest of the computer. It's rather strange. I'll try and get it on the computer for you, but yeah, it's quite impressive. So what I'll do is I'll move this lamp, this keyboard out of the way, and we'll power up. So here we go. There's a start-up sound, by the way, if you want to hear it. No problem whatsoever. So all loaded up, we've got on the first hard drive a 845 gigabytes free, and on the second hard drive we've got 804 gig free. So it's just under 1.6, well, it is about over 1.6 terabytes. It's not too bad. So the hard drives, the first hard drive is a Seagate Paraguda 1 terabyte. Not sure what model it is, and the second hard drive is a Samsung 1 terabyte hard drive. Can't remember what the model number of that is either. I apologise. But here's what it sounds like when they're shut down. It's gone on sleep mode, but it does the same thing. Alright, See what I mean? It parks this one, then that one, then shuts the rest of it down. It's rather strange. Anyway, that's about it really. I will get a extra SATA cable and plug the disk drive back in. So yeah, quite impressed with that. Didn't have to do anything to the BIOS or startup situation. I just plugged it in, basically switched it on like this, and turned itself on, and did a disk check, and was down, done. Anyway, thanks for watching. See you in the next one.